Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's life been since you left the Big Brother house, 4 days ago now?
Yeah, it's been different. It's just changed. I've heard of lines like, my life has just changed overnight. I know what they mean when they say that, because mine changed overnight.
In what way?
In more ways than one. And it's all for the better. So I'm really grateful to God that it's all happened. But I got out of the house. I had no idea what was happening in the outside world. And when I got out, for starters, I had new lawyers, new agents, a new PR firm. So everything just changed. And the person's still the same. So that's good.
Why on earth did you do it?
Well, for me, it was a great opportunity. Big Brother is one of the most watched television shows in the UK, and for an Indian actor to be on something like that was huge. And it was just great timing, okay? Because when they approached me, I was just in the midst of wrapping up a movie, and it was just 3 weeks. And I didn't think that I would last out 3 weeks. So I said maybe 2 weeks. So I told my producer, my director, I was like, you know what? If it's okay with you, I'd like to do this thing. It's a great lucrative offer. And they were like, oh, okay. If they're offering you good money and if you think you want to do it, then great, go ahead and do it. So it wasn't, I wasn't going out of the way. I wasn't bending backwards. The offer came to me on a platter, and I would be foolish not to take it up. Though I must say that people had a lot of preconceived notions about Big Brother in India. So they were a little wary, and they were like, why are you doing something like this? There's a lot of swearing, nudity. There have been a couple of shows where they've had explicit shots of people making out or whatever. But I was very clear about what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. So all those points were stated in my contract, and there was nothing to fear. So that's the reason I did it, and I don't regret it one bit.
Lucrative, nothing to fear.
Mm-hmm.
How did it differ from your expectations, the realization of what happened?
I didn't go in with any expectations. So I didn't expect anything. I just thought it was a great platform to showcase our culture. And I honestly didn't go as a Bollywood actor, as just a Bollywood actor. I was going as a responsible Indian citizen. And it was a huge responsibility to shoulder. And I don't think, people really understood that. And I was, and I'm so glad I went there, because there were so many things that people got to see. There were so many things that people realized, and it's all worked out. I
want to talk about that in some detail, obviously. But I mean, is it possible to say in one sentence what it was like inside the Big Brother house for you?
I've said this before. It was one big roller coaster ride. Lot many highs, lot many lows, but there were more good moments, more happy moments than sad ones, really, in all honesty. It was traumatic, it was tumultuous at certain points. I'd reached my lowest ebb, but there were so many fun things that we did. I mean, being part of that entire Jackson 5 gang was a high point. Doing the Showgirls, doing that entire comedy act where I acted as Aunt Jamila. I had no idea that I could come out with things. Yeah, come out with things at the spur of the moment. We as actors in India are so used to getting our lines and being prepared before a shot. We had chances to do retakes, and we didn't have any retakes here. That was the only big difference between what I'd done before and what I'd done here for the first time.
Those were some of the best tasks. What about the worst tasks?
Oh my God, lot many of those as well. The worst was making us dress up like we were, going to go on the red carpet, and
When you did the task in the
mud
garden.
and slush, and more than all of that, it was so cold, and I come from a warm country. It was horrific. But the strange thing was that as soon as we got into the limo, I completely forgot about how cold it was, and I just put my best foot forward, and it was just amazing to see for myself that I was able to do that, because I had no idea I could. I was this close to saying, you know what, I'm willing to go without food for a week, because it was our week's task. That would tell us how much ration we'd get for the week, and I was willing to go without food. But then what Big Brother teaches you to do is that you have to think beyond yourself, and you have to do things in consensus with the entire
Group.
house, with all the housemates. So you had to push yourself, and you had to do things, because you didn't want people to turn around and blame you and say that it was because of you that we lost out.
Yeah, of course. We did see you for the first time, I think, probably the first time, in tears when it was the task with the servants in the manor house.
Yeah.
What's all that about?
It may look very silly, but it was very, very sad, because you enter the house and you're made to bond with all these people, and the next thing you know, you have to make a choice. And the choice I made, actually it was a joint choice made by all of them together, that I stay in the house. And the reason Jermaine and I stayed back was because Uncle Ken was with us, and if we had to stay in the house, somebody had to cook. So I stayed back because I could cook, and Jermaine was vegan. Jermaine is vegan, so he doesn't really, cook food other than vegetables. So I stayed back for that, and in the process of which I felt I looked so terrible. It looked like I was being very selfish, but that wasn't the intention. And then I saw them come the next day as servants, which I thought was so belittling for them, and it made me feel even worse. So I just broke down, and I had no idea it could have that effect on me. Yeah.
Lots of things you found out about yourself in the
Yes,
house,
yes.
I'm sure. Can we talk about house manners? There were lots of noises off, weren't there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the phraseology wasn't necessarily what you were used to either.
Well, it was a culture shock. It was a culture shock, in simple words.
Were you
And I was-
offended?
More than offended, I think I was very amused. Jermaine and I kind of wanted to look at it in a way that was very humorous, but after a point, it was just so weird, because I started to feel that I was uncool, not being able to burp and flatulate. because
You're not saying you never do that, obviously.
but I mean, come on, I mean, you don't gloat about it. You don't do it in public. It's some things that are just not done. Would you do it?
Certainly not.
Exactly.
Goodness me, very
But I'm
suggestive.
so glad people here and in the outside world share that view with me.
I think most people